Ricardo, could you or not?
Yes.
I will have lived. How would you translate that?
Into Spanish?
Yep.
Habré vivido.
Right, perfect. Habré vivido. And I will have been living.
Habré estado viviendo.
Habré estado viviendo. That's right. That's the difference between one or the other. Okay. So you are talking about future events. So you are projecting your life in a future way. So if I say next year, at this next year, by April, we will have finished the pandemic time, for example. Yeah. See, that's the idea. Something that it was in the future will be finished. That is the future perfect. And the future perfect continues, that in the future will still be happening, right? That's the difference between one or the other. Okay, let's see, Valentina, what about number 4?
I have been looking back, retracing my steps and coming to understand just how great a change it has actually been.
All right, do you all agree? I think both can be used in here, both. You can say, I have looked back, retraced my steps, and come to understand just how great a change that has actually been. Or you can also say, I've been looking back, retracing my steps, and coming to understand just how great a change it has actually been. Okay, both are correct. Okay, let's see. Giselle, are you there now? It seems that Giselle cannot connect. Nicole, are you there? Nicole?
5.
Yes. Number 5.
I've been spending hours exploring the glorious countryside by bicycle and on foot, and have discovered a taste for silence and solitude I didn't know I had.
Do you agree? She said, I've been spending hours exploring the glorious countryside by bicycle, on foot, and have been discovering a taste for silence and solitude I didn't know I had.
I have discovered a taste for silence.
Mm-hmm. I would say that it was, it seems that I didn't know that. When you say I didn't know that, the action is over. I wouldn't use the continuous form. Yeah, I didn't know that. When you say I didn't know that, the action was finished. Totally. So you have to use, in that case, the past perfect simple, not the continuous. So the thing would be, I've spent hours exploring the glorious countryside by bicycle and on foot, and have discovered a taste for silence and solitude I didn't know I had. Okay, so it was an action that was not in progress, that was finished. Okay, so you have to use the past perfect simple. And the last one, let's see, Melissa, number 6.
By the time the first year comes to an end, almost all my London friends will have been here to stay.
Yeah, that's right. Will have been here to stay. All right, that's it. Now, remember, I sent you some the papers that that we saw last class, in which I explained the way to use both, or the four tenses, the difference between future perfect simple and future perfect progressive, past perfect simple and past perfect progressive or continuous, which is the same. All right. So now we're going to do the exercise number 4. Yeah. In here, you have a pair of sentences that are similar, but I want you to explain to me what is the difference between one and the other? And it says, read the, Nicole, please, read the title in there, work in pairs, read that.
Which page?
The same page, 8. Exercise 4.
Work in pairs and discuss the difference in meaning between the pairs of sentence.
Yeah, the pairs of sentences. We have sentences in pair. The first one is, number 1A, we've been renovating all the bathrooms. It's taking ages. And B, we have renovated all the bathrooms. It cost a fortune. Ricardo, what is the difference between one and the other? The first one, what tense, first of all, the first one, what tense is the first one? A.
8.
See, yes.
Present perfect continuous.
Right, present perfect continuous. And the second one?
And the second one,
Or B?
we have renovated. Present perfect simple.
Simple, that's right. Now, what is the difference between A and B?
In letter A, the action is still going because they have not finished the renovation of the house, of the bathrooms.
Yeah.
And in the second one, the action has finished already.
Yeah, okay. How do you know that? How do you know that the action has finished?
Because of the verbs. And the verbs are in past, and
Which
they are
one?
not using continuous forms in the second one.
Okay, but I think that what tells us that it is past perfect simple is that the action finished because it cost a fortune. So they already paid for that, okay? They already paid for that. That's why we know that. Okay, let's see number 2, Melissa. I have walked more than 200 kilometers by the time I get to Santiago. I will have walked more than 200 kilometers by the time I got to Santiago. I will have been walking 20 kilometers a day for nearly a month by then. Which is finished, which is still going, or which will still going.
The second one is still going.
Yeah, it will be going, right? Because it's future. It will be going. So by that time, I will have been walking 20 kilometers a day for nearly a month, okay? So I might be continue walking. That's right. So what about the other one? I have walked more than 200 kilometers by the time I get to Santiago. The action will be finished at the moment I get to Santiago. By that time, I will have walked more than 200 kilometers. At that moment, I will stop. It says here, I will have walked more than 200 kilometers by the time I get to Santiago. Yeah? At that moment, the action will be finished. And the second one, I will have been walking 20 kilometers a day for nearly a month by then. In a month, I will be walking 200 kilometers and I will be go on walking. Yeah, so that's the difference. Let's see, Valentina now, the last two, which is the one that the action is finished and which is in which the action, this is past tense, I think, right? So the action was occurring. When it struck midnight, Tim had written the essay. And the other one, when it struck midnight, Tim had been writing the essay for more than 24 hours.
A is finished and B is continuous?
Yeah, B was, I mean, because it's past, had past perfect continuous. So at that moment, the action continued, all right? Okay, so that's it. Let's see then exercise 5. Well, what I want you to have it clear is those four grammatical tenses, the way they function, So you have to be clear that one is past perfect simple, had plus past participle, and past perfect continuous, had plus been plus gerund or ing. The other one, future perfect, will have plus past participle, future perfect continuous will have been doing something. Yeah, right? Okay, so you have to study that. Now, I'm going to go to the exercise 5. In here we're going to talk a little bit about stative verbs and action verbs. Do you know the difference between those types of verbs? Do you have it clear or not? If you don't, ask me. And we all together can be learning. Do you have it clear? Can you see the difference between a stative verb and an action verb? Say yes or say no. Melissa, do you know or not? Do you have it clear or not? No. Valentina, do you? No. Ricardo, do you?
Stative verbs are the ones who doesn't.
No, which or that? Which or that?
Sorry.
No, okay. I'm correcting you by little things. Okay, don't worry.
That
Which
don't represent an action, but a feeling or emotion or things like that. For example, love, like, and action verbs are those that represent an action, a physical action. For example, jump, run, swim.
Not necessarily, because some verbs which are, senses or emotions can be also considered, for example, action verbs in certain ways. Yeah. I am feeling sad, right? Feel is an emotion, or but you can use it also with ing. What is the characteristic? Okay, you were right in general, Ricardo. Action verbs are the ones that represent mainly, not at all, but mainly actions, while stative verbs are verbs that represent emotions or states. Okay, for example, love. Even in Spanish, you can say that, but can you say, for example, I am loving you? Would that be correct? I am loving you, or I love you. What is the right thing to say? I love you, or I am loving you?
I think that both.
Both?
Yes.
Uh-huh. What does the rest think? I love or I am loving you?
I love.
I love. I would say, Nicole, that is love. Why? Because love is a state. It's not an action. It's not something that you do now, and then tomorrow you don't do it. If you love a person, at least you love him or her for a week, But you can't say that in 5 minutes you are loving the person, and then in the rest of the day you don't love him or her, right? So love is a state, the same as have, for example. Have could be depending on the situation, but normally have indicates possession, and have cannot be used with ing. For example, you can say, I am having a car. Or for example, I bought a car, so tomorrow I will be having a car. I will be having. You can't say that because the verb is not an action, it's a state. So all the state verbs cannot be used normally in ing forms. They cannot be used that way. It's the same as in Spanish. If you say in Spanish, for example, amo, right? Tengo. You can say estoy teniendo. Fíjate que estoy teniendo un auto hoy día. Nada que ver. O te estoy llamándote. Ah, te estoy llamando. No, you can't say that. It's impossible, right? Or I love you, or I hate you. But those are feelings, and those feelings cannot be used like something momentarily, okay? Something from a moment. It's a state of things, okay? So that is the difference between a state verb and action verbs. The action verbs can go with ing because they indicate a progression, while state verbs normally are not used with ing. I mentioned, for example, have, right? Oh, come on, we started with the, we will have to leave in 10 minutes. Okay, but for example, have. I said that you cannot use it with ing normally. I'm having a car, I'm having time. No, you can't say that. But you can say, I am having breakfast. Have breakfast is not have. Have indicates possession. Have breakfast indicates an action. Have tea, have lunch, have breakfast, have dinner. In those cases, have, when it goes with another noun in there, it can be used like an action verb and not state verb. So you can perfectly say, we are having lunch at 2 tomorrow. Yeah. In 3 more days, we will be having dinner at this time with some friends. Yeah. So in that case, so remember, some verbs cannot be used as action verbs. So they can take ing forms. Okay. So now let's go into the exercise number 5. It says here, divide the stative verbs in the box into 5 groups: emotions, knowledge, possession, communication, and senses, right? So all these verbs are stative verbs. Read them, please, Lisette. No, Melissa.
Agree, believe, belong, care, deny, hear, know, like, love, own,
Love.
possess,
Remember that it's not love, it's love. Ah,
love, love,
with that hecho. Love.
love,
Mhm.
own, possess, promise, smell, taste, understand.
All right. Now try to divide them. Okay. Which verbs? Let's start by the simplest ones. Which of these verbs, all stative verbs, indicate sense? Which one indicates sense?
Smell,
Yeah.
Taste,
taste,
hear,
Here.
Here.
Yeah. All right. Then communication. No, the simplest one. Emotions. Emotions.
love,
Love. Yes.
Like,
Like.
Like.
Right. And
care,
care. That's right. Now,
Agree.
what about? No, only 3. Care, love, like. Which indicates possession?
belong,
possess,
Belong, right? Belong,
Yes.
possess,
own, right? And another one,
possess,
Process.
possess. That's right. Which one
Possess.
indicates knowledge?
understand,
Yeah,
Believe.
believe, and
No.
knowledge. No,
Knowledge.
right. So the last ones are communication. Which ones are indicate communication?
Agree.
Yes,
Deny,
deny, and
promise.
promise. That's right. Okay, so you have to have very clear that there are 2 types of verbs: stative verbs that states And when they indicate a state, you cannot use them with ing, right? You can use them in any time, in any tense, but not continuous or progressing, right? That is a characteristic of a stative verb. While the action verbs like play, smoke, run, all the other ones that indicate a certain action, you can use it with ing, all right? Now, the language tip. Read that, please, Francisca.
Some verbs have both stative and dynamic meanings. Dynamic meanings. They can only be used in continuous form with a dynamic meaning. Dynamic meaning. Sorry. Feeling unwell, experience a feeling or emotion. Compare this with the stative meaning. I feel we should give him a chance. Feel, have an opinion.
All right. So feel has two forms, could be stative or could be dynamic or action. When you feel express an opinion is stative. Yeah. But when it expresses an emotion, it's dynamic. Right? For that reason, I'm feeling unwell. That is at the moment. I'm feeling, so it could be with ing because it's an emotion in this case. But I feel, I believe, so it's like I believe. I feel we should give him a chance. No, I am feeling, I feel, right? Now, you have to do it fast, the sentences with correct form of the verb in brackets, okay? So you have think twice, see twice, taste twice. In one case could be stative, and the other one could be dynamic or action. Try to do it. I give you some minutes. If the connection is stopped, then we will go back, okay? You have to go to the connection again and we come back. We have 2 minutes. The first two, Ricardo, what do you think?
I think the first one is, I think that living in a small village would be a bit boring.
Right, stative, because your thing means like I believe, I feel, right? So, stative. What about the other one?
The second one,
yes.
I'm thinking of spending a week in Ireland in early June.
All right, I'm thinking of spending a week in Ireland in early June. In that case, is an action verb because you're thinking at the moment. Yeah, it's not something permanent. Okay, let's see, Valentina, what about see? You have two sentences with see. 3 and 4.
In 3 is I see a friend of mine for dinner tomorrow night. Dinner tomorrow night.
Okay, repeat the part of the verb in there. How is it?
I see. No.
Decide.
I sing.
You can't say I sing. You can say I am seeing. That's correct. But no verb with ing. Sorry, pronoun with ing. So it's pronoun and the verb form is I am seeing or I'm seeing. All right, I'm seeing. Read it again, please, Valentina. I'm seeing.
I see your point in the verb.
The first one, number 3.
I'm seeing a friend of mine for dinner tomorrow night.
It's very important. I'm seeing. All right, again.
I am seeing. I am seeing a friend of mine for dinner tomorrow night.
And the other one, number 4.
I see your point, but I think cities can be very lonely place.
Places. That's right. What about Melissa? Taste.
I'm tasting the sauce to see if it needs more salt. And this sauce tastes a bit strange.
This sauce is third person singular, present. This sauce tastes. This sauce tastes a bit strange, right? Okay, so that is in relation to stative verbs and action verbs or dynamic verbs. So what you have to have very clear on your mind is that stative verbs cannot be used with ing. So they cannot go with ing. They can never go with ing if it is a stative verb. Only action verbs can go with ing. In all the progressive forms, that is to say, present continuous, future progressive, I don't know, past